Hey guys, welcome back to Anti-Hedge. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting subject, and that is HBAR. Before we go forward, I just got to say this isn't financial advice. Everything here is strictly for news and research purposes. So with that in mind, enjoy the content of this video. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about HBAR. What is the new developments with HBAR? Well, I'm going to be covering that, and that is BlackRock filing a spot ETF for HBAR. What do we learn about BlackRock? We know BlackRock is one of the largest companies in the world. If not, actually, I think it is the largest company in the world, surpassing many countries, which is crazy to think that one company is larger than most countries' economies. And they are getting ready to launch this spot ETF. And here's the thing about BlackRock. When they put forth an ETF, 90% of the time it gets approved. You'll notice that even when you look here, right now there's about a 90% chance of it being approved as an ETF. And I think that the number went up initially from what they expected it to be, because now BlackRock is in the runnings for having an ETF. And generally speaking, if BlackRock is doing something, they want to make money with it. BlackRock's ETF filing, it shows we're heading into a catalyst for alt season. Alt season is what every one of us has been dreaming of. That's where everything starts to fly up, and it kind of coincides with my last hypothesis to say that most of the alts this season will not blow up, but the ones that get ETFs will likely blow up. Here's the thing, I'm expecting that if they actually do launch the ETF, it's probably going to be closer to Q4, so end of the year. They're going to be launching probably in the end of the year before the new year starts, which is interesting because most people are expecting that to be the cycle top. I'm going to bite my tongue here, and people are probably going to hate me for saying it, but for some reason I have this funny feeling that a lot of people are expecting the cycle top to happen in December and January, kind of like the last cycle. And it's not going to be like that. I have this funny feeling that they're going to get the expectations of people to just dump their bags at the end of the year, kind of like they have in previous cycles, because they think it's the end. And I have a funny that Q1 of next year is going to be when the altcoins really take off. And that's going to basically be like contrarian to what other people believe will happen during the cycles. And that is kind of one of the things that people might be a bit weirded out about. We're in a new territory in terms of how crypto will be performing against the world. So in previous cycles, we were in retail cycles. It was mostly us controlling the cycles. But now that we're in a Wall Street cycle and an institutional cycle, they're not going to play the game the same way we do, where it's like, okay, we rally with a lot of volatility upwards and then a lot of volatility downwards. I think what's going to happen now is as this asset class matures, we're going to see more consistently up and to the right. And it's not going to be like up and down. It's going to be more like this. So anyone who's patient and has a long time horizon is going to benefit, and people who don't have those long time horizons are not going to benefit as much. When you look at the potential for an ETF with HBAR and its potential predictions and market impacts, we have to just kind of look at what HBAR provides. And a lot of what they provide is an infrastructure for enterprises to enter, not necessarily just blockchain, but rather just having a hyperledger at their disposal. And the hyperledger just allows them to have basically a organized database for all of their information. And I still believe that this is the railway for what AI will be. Now, whether or not it's going to be HBAR, XRP, that I'm not 100% sure of, but I'm pretty sure that HBAR will be the rails for a lot of what AI will be. That's kind of what AI is missing, because right now what AI does is it just pulls information from the internet without any discrimination. And not that there should be discrimination of information, but more importantly, if there's an organized place for AI to pull information from, like a blockchain or a database that's organized, it would just make AI more functional. It would be like AI having a brain, and then something like HBAR forming like the spine that connects it to the rest of everything else. So that's how I kind of envision these rails. It's like AI already is function, but an organization of structure of information will just allow the brain of the AI to connect to everything else. That's basically what's happening. People are expecting there to be a $5 HBAR if the ETF passes. I think that's probably very likely. I think that's a very fair number. Me personally, I would probably get ready to start selling at $3 if it hits that point, even $2 to be honest. But that's basically what a lot of people are expecting. So it's poised to move up. The other thing that I wanted to mention, this is kind of something that flew under the radar that I wanted to mention, is that a while back, SWIFT, which is the largest money mover in the world, it's basically a messaging system for governments and countries to move money around, and money is basically just treasuries, right? HBAR is already taking on the idea of having potential for treasuries, tokenized treasuries and stuff like that. They've already put interest in saying that there will be that kind of transactions going on in their network. And the thing is that right now, when you look at SWIFT moves about $1.25 quadrillion a year, which is basically 2 to 3 times the global money supply. If they use HBAR as the payment rails for the CBDC infrastructure, then that would actually be massive, and it would coincide with the Genius Act that Trump passed in terms of stablecoin legislation. So it looks like HBAR is one of the companies that's compliant and has the infrastructure to actually take on this endeavor, which is very bullish. You'll see here on Vanier Assets, they mention that SWIFT is taking a pretty big bet on HBAR and XRP for these payment rails, and the fact that they are part of the ISO 20022 standard, which is basically like the standard for how they approve these types of technologies and stuff like that. That's another thing that I wanted to mention, right? If HBAR actually gets in with SWIFT, that could be a really big partnership in a big way, and then that would actually make it partnership by association with a lot of other large cap cryptos like Chainlink, which is also working with SWIFT, XRP, which is also working with SWIFT. So I'm thinking what they're doing is they're creating basically a system that they'll all be able to communicate together. And interoperability has always been a big thing in blockchain, because that's what makes it possible for basically the network to actually succeed. If Swift's tests actually go up, that could be the short-term push for what we need to get HBAR rolling. And with the ETFs passing at the same time, I just think it's kind of coincidental that they could be coming together at the same time. They even have Grayscale trying to launch an ETF for HBAR. So that's going to be, I think, 3 ETFs filed, which would be Canary Capital, Grayscale, and BlackRock. 3 pretty large giants in the crypto space, all filing for the same thing. I think there's probability that at least 2 out of 3 of these get approved, if not all 3. And if it becomes an institutional thing, there's definitely going to be people that will be interested in HBAR, considering its partnerships on an institutional scale. Considering what we've spoken about today, we have the BlackRock ETFs, we have the potential for SWIFT partnerships that kind of flew under the radar and has been brought to my attention recently, and the potential for altcoin season actually taking off when people least expect it. For some reason, I don't think that we're going to have a very explosive next month. I think we're going to be going up like this. We might see a bit down, a little bit of down price action, but I think that Q4 is where most of the explosiveness will most likely happen, and we're kind of heading in towards Q4 if we're not already in it. I think it's in September it starts officially. The new year most likely will be when altcoin season hits, right when everyone's giving up on the cycle and they're exiting their bags and exiting their positions. I think that a lot of people are going to be caught with their pants down, and that will mark the beginning of crypto as a mature asset class. So if you stayed to the end of this video, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate your viewership. And if you have any questions or things that you want us to look into, don't be shy to drop a comment and let us know. And we'll keep it marked for future notice. Thanks again. Ciao.